Yo, what is up? Are you ready to escape the Matrix and take the red pill? And now, when I say escape the Matrix and take the red pill, I'm not actually talking about the Matrix with Keanu Reeves, where he realizes he's living in a simulation. I'm talking about a different kind of red pill. It's the kind where men and women come together to argue basically over how women are in relationships and why they suck. Now, anyone who's been in a relationship with a woman definitely knows that women are tripping. But the red pill is a different genre of women tripping than the normal girlfriend in a relationship. I'm having trouble kind of explaining what I mean by this, so I'm just gonna have this tweet by this guy named Venom explain what I'm talking about here. 99% of girls are hypergamous. A girl who is a government teacher doesn't want to marry a man who is a government teacher. She wants a richer man with a better job and higher income. Even education and a good job don't change their hypergamous, greedy nature. So that's one tweet. I need to read another just so you kind of get the picture of what I'm talking about here. All right, so we got another tweet about hypergamy, which is basically just marrying someone that's a higher class than you. And it's from this guy named Got Pickup. So let's get into this tweet. A woman wants a man who outclasses her in as many ways as possible. She wants a dude who's wealthier, taller, smarter, stronger, cooler. I mean, I'm pretty cool, so got that checked off. Cooler, more worldly, articulate, or wittier than her. That's the way she feels like she's getting the better deal. Don't hate hypergamy made her this way. So I'm not gonna lie, I think a lot of times I can see why people might say a woman wants a man who earns more than her to an extent. Sorry, my camera quality went really bad in this clip, so I'm refilming it now later. Anyways, what I was saying is that a common podcast I see talking about this stuff is Fresh and Fit, and let's just get into some clips so I don't have to explain what I'm talking about here.
What do you think is the number one obstacle that men deal with dating in versus women dealing with dating in today's society?
For a man, their biggest obstacle is their ego. Like, I feel like a lot of men have a high ego.
Interesting. All right, then what about women?
I feel like a woman, they have a problem with understanding, like, the realistic aspects of things. So, like, a man
Where do
has
you think
a
that
high
stems from, though?
ego. I don't, like,
Let's put that-
insecurities.
All right, so basically this girl right here is saying that in the dating market, guys have way too high of an ego and think they deserve more than they do, but the other way around goes for girls, and girls are kind of okay getting treated badly by guys. And now we got the main guy who runs this podcast, his name's Myron Gaines, and he's saying that she has it flipped.
So
I think you got it flipped. I think women have too much ego. That's why they expect too much. I think men have less ego than women nowadays. The reason why women have more ego nowadays is because...
Okay, yeah, so he says that men have less ego than women, and he's going to tell us why, even though I have some stuff I want to already say about this, but I want to listen to his point first, so let's listen to this.
An 18-year-old girl get on Instagram and have an NBA player DM her.
Yeah.
18-year-old guy, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares.
So, yes, that could be true that an 18-year-old girl could have an NBA player. I mean, even younger than 18. I mean, look at Josh Giddey. I mean, the girl he had sex with was like 16. So, you didn't even need to be 18 to have NBA players hitting you up. But I kind of see his point there a little bit. However, he's talking about like a rare case. I know it can happen where you're a girl and it's possible to have a celebrity reach out to you like that, but the odds of that happening are so low, and it's such a small amount of the population that it doesn't really reflect how the dating market is, which is what this debate is about.
I mean, here's the perfect example. The guy that you just called, right? The guy, you denied him, didn't you? Why'd you deny him?
I don't know, I just see him as a friend.
Okay, but why do you see him as a friend? Why is he, like, I want you to think, like, why is he not a suitable candidate for you?
I don't know, recently I've been just, like, disgusted with guys. Just because they're such assholes. Like, they're, like, because I see them as so egotistical.
She's been disgusted with guys because she thinks they're so egotistical. I mean, honestly, this is making me want to side with the guys here. I don't know how they picked this guest, but geez, like, this girl is has some L takes. She's been disgusted with guys because she's been seeing them as so egotistical. Wow, that is quite the L take. most normal people aren't super egotistical. Like the majority of guys, if she took a normal sample of the population, wouldn't be that bad. So I'm kind of like thinking this girl's also doing the same crap. I like that Instagram example where they're talking about the NBA player hitting up a girl. This girl's doing the same thing where she's taking a small sample of guys and acting like that's the majority of the population, which I think is just so dumb.
You want me to prove that every woman on this show has a huge ego?
Okay, so we got this guy that's super humble. He's going to prove that every woman on the show has a huge ego. And let's just see how that is.
In your minds right now, all of you women think, oh, it's optional, Fresh, Myron, Zerka. Yeah, they're cool. Maybe I could date them. It's optional. But in reality, if we just look at on paper, in reality, not just paper, us three are fucking 1,000 leagues above you girls. And I'm saying like, I'm saying that in a respectful way.
I'm the only one seeing some sort of irony here. I'm gonna prove that you women are egotistical. You know, it's like, I'm gonna prove that your ego's crazy. I'm thousands of leagues above you, and you think that I could still be an option. Now, I'm not saying these girls are or aren't egotistical, but all I'm saying is that what this guy proved with that comment was not that the girls are egotistical, since we don't even know if the girls agree with this statement yet based on what I've seen here. But I already know that this dude here is super egotistical. Thousands of leagues above y'all. God, dude, that's so cringe.
Like, check this out. Our DMs are filled with women, and that's almost impossible to do as a man. That's really hard. The ugliest woman on Tinder can get more matches than the hottest guy on Tinder. So you guys right now sitting here don't understand. I'm a million leagues above you girls.
Okay, so this guy's kind of just been going on about the same thing still, but now he's throwing in that he's got tons of DMs from girls on his Instagram and how that's almost impossible to do as a man, which, I mean, maybe he does. I feel like this is like one of those situations where you might want to see the quality of the girls DMing him, because I think all of these men here are in their 30s, which there's nothing wrong with being in your 30s and single. But like, if they're really able to attract like the best of the best women, you would think this guy getting all these DMs who's millions of leagues above these girls would have wife or girlfriend at this point in time.
As a man right now, and you were an average guy, like all those men at the grocery store, you guys don't notice those guys. You don't notice the bartender. You don't notice most men.
Yeah, sure.
You're not noticing them because of your ego.
Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm going to say that the reason they're not noticing them, these random guys in the grocery store, isn't because of their ego. Now, obviously, I'm a little biased. I don't notice random people in the grocery store either. And it's not because I think I'm above random people in the grocery store or at the bars or whichever other examples he said. It just doesn't matter, you know? Like, I guess if you're single, it would still make sense for an average person not to notice random people in the store. Let's say I was single. I might notice an attractive person in the store and not notice an average one, but it's not because I'm egotistical. It's because one sticks out and one is normal. Why would I notice something that's just normal in my everyday life?
Average women don't see average men as viable. That's simply it. An average woman is going to want a man that's above her. And this is just a female natural. This is like the natural tendency. Women want men that are better than themselves.
So while this may be true that an average woman might want a man who's above her, it really depends on the person. There are women who settle. There are men who date total losers. No offense, full offense. There are women who date total losers, and there are guys who date, unloyal girls that are willing to do whatever they want. So basically they go on to talk about how women are basically delusional and how they want men that are better than them and this and that and this and that. And they proceed to pull up this female delusion calculator.
We have the Build a Man calculator here for you.
Let's just look at it.
What is the minimum age that you would date and the maximum age you would date for you?
Minimum. 25.
25 too?
Damn. 45.
Minimum height for you?
5'8".
Oh, dude, 5'8". I'd be cooked in this dating market. Height, 5'8" and above. I'm 5'7", so.
Income level.
Bare minimum income per year.
1 million.
Oh, man, wow. Okay, 1 million. This girl is gonna have a very tough time finding someone with that income. $1 million? Dude, women are delusional. Like, what can I say?
Oh
So-
my God. This got to be the
check-
worst
check mark.
one we've ever done, Fresh.
Let's
No,
see
it
right
ain't.
now.
No, it ain't. Really.
Yeah, we have worse. All right, Bill, your man?
All right, so based on this female delusion calculator, guess what percent of men in the dating pool are not married, not obese, they couldn't do $1 million, so the top is 500,000. So guess what percent of men make $500,000 or more, aren't married, aren't obese, and are in between 25 and 45? I'm guessing it's going to be a pretty small percent here.
Okay.
0.0282% of men meet your requirements between that age. When you look at the questions, that kind of makes sense. Realistically, is this girl going to go in the dating market, and if a guy tells that he makes under $1 million or 500,000, I guess, since that's what the calculator said, realistically she can be like, oh dude, I can't date you, you're not making enough money for me. No, unless this girl's insane. But realistically, no one's gonna do that. Obviously, if you ask a girl like, yeah, what would you want your man to make? Well, it's like, oh, well, they're not the ones doing the work. They're asking how much they want the man to make. Obviously, it would be a lot of money, since it's basically like, how much money would you want without you doing the work? It's like asking someone, how much would you want your parents to make? I guess everyone should theoretically want their parents to make millions of dollars, since it would only benefit them, and they're not the ones who had to do the work to make that.
Let me ask you this then. Are you okay with him having other women?
After 10 years, like if we are boyfriend and girlfriend, no. But if we are married, let's say after 10 years,
Were you before
I'll
back
play
then?
it blind. You
Bruh.
know?
10 years?
As long as,
Yeah, I'd accept that he's having sex with other women. Like, I feel like there's a certain point of money where I feel like that's not worth it. I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but at least from my perspective, I feel like that's the equivalent of dating an OnlyFans model that brings in a ton of money. My point is the money wouldn't be worth it. Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously these girls that they took in are like probably not an accurate representation of the population, but dude, that is insane to me.
I'll be honest with you. This kind of guy that makes this kind of money, he's gonna want to have multiple women.
yeah, as long as I don't know, it's fine.
So they kind of go on to make the point, these men are very rare, and to find a man like that, they're going to want to have other women in exchange. You know, they're going to want to have a relationship where they have other girls, in the picture. And I know that chart said, oh, these men are super rare and this and that, but the reality is making a certain salary doesn't give you the right to cheat on your wife. But also, realistically, if you're a man and you're dating a woman who lets you cheat on her and have all these other women, the type of women you're going to be married to are not going to be the kind that you probably want based on the stuff that these type of podcasts push overall. Like, I know it wasn't really talked about in this specific podcast that I just played here, but a lot of times these red pill guys are like, I want a woman who like is a virgin and is like pure and loyal and also lets me sleep with other women.
Whether women want to accept it or not, we look at you as a commodity because we're investing our time, resources into you, and we want to buy the car with low mileage if we're going to pay full price. Period. Men play dating on hard mode. Women play dating on easy mode. So we get hard mode benefits, which means we can bang as many girls as we want because it's hard to bang girls as a
But
guy.
we can't fuck all the guys we want because we're single and
No,
we just want-
because
The first thing you might be able to have, and you might be able to have the second thing, but you're not gonna have a woman who lets you treat her like a complete escort and also just be some super modest woman. Like, that is so dumb. And this is like one of the things on these red pill things that to me never make sense. They basically say they want a woman who's like pure and never slept with anyone, which is like fine, but then they're like, but I'm gonna sleep with like 50 women because I'm a high value man. I mean, there's this guy here running the podcast literally said you should sleep with 50 women before getting married.
As a man, what age
What
should
about
you
women?
consider getting married?
35 years old, had slept with at least 50 women, 100K per year, you're in shape, and you got 6 months to 1 year of savings.
And it's like they do stuff that would make you attract the exact type of women they're saying are bad. Like, I just want to be honest. Do you really think that someone who's sleeping around all the time, the guy with the beard here talks about how he's like thousands of leagues above everyone, this and that. Like, you really think someone like that is gonna find some nice, very religious woman that's gonna let him keep living that lifestyle? I mean, probably not. I know that he makes a lot of money, which puts him in the rare category of men here, but I feel like their advice almost makes you repel the type of women they're saying you need to attract, which is why I think it's kind of dumb. And I think podcasts like this have kind of also, started the wave. Like in the tweets I showed, I got another one here. It says, she'll sleep with 10 guys, then pray for a husband, party for 7 years, date bad boys for 5, hook up for 3 more. Then at 29, she suddenly wants loyalty, respect, a ring. Now she's ready to settle down. Translation: she wants you to pay the full price for what others got for free. And you're expected to forget the past. If you ask, you're insecure. No, that's not insecurity. That's discernment. And it's your right as a man. The red pill community also promotes men sleeping around too. And I'm not saying either's good. If you like doing that, it's whatever. But you can't act like it's one side that's doing all the sleeping around.
I have a rule. I tell guys, don't get married until you're 35, making 6 figures a year, 6 months to 1 year of savings, in shape, going to the gym consistently, and had sex with 50 girls.
50.
Why?
You know that whenever a guy and a girl hook up and a girl has a high body count, every time she did something with someone, the guy's body count went up too. They're acting like the problem here is just the girls. The thing is, you have the right not to date people that aren't in your preference. The entire dating pool aren't these people that these guys are complaining about. I think that this whole movement has kind of taken small problems and just blown them so far out of proportion that it's kind of making a group of men that are chronically online have this warped perception of the dating market where they just kind of hate women and think that all women are this way and that women want this, women want that. If you ask multiple guys what they want, they're probably not going to say all the exact same answer either. I don't know. I think it's just kind of dumb. But yeah, we got men complaining about how women want higher value men. Here we got another tweet from Venom again, the first guy. Women will never marry a guy earning less than them or in a lower position. In rare cases when they do, it's because the guy has lots of wealth, property, and power. Hypergamy is in women's nature. All of them want the top 1 to 5% of men, which they can't have. So want is a weird word. If you ask any single guy if he wants to date some supermodel, they're gonna say yes. I think it's the same thing happening on the other side here. This guy might be right. On average, women do want to date a man that makes more than them. I think that's correct just based on that divorce statistic. But also at the same time, guys want to be the breadwinner in the relationships. They get self-conscious about it. Obviously, if it's a little amount, it might not be too big of a deal. But if your girlfriend's a doctor and you're doing nothing, it does create a weird dynamic. But I think, as a guy, you'd probably feel weird about it too, to be honest. And I'm not saying it's right to feel that way, but it's just kind of how it is. So yes, red pill people will say that women want guys earning more than them and this and that. But the reality is guys want the other way around too, which is just kind of the point I'm trying to make about this whole red pill thing that's going on. I see so many people hating on podcasts I just watched, they're just making them hate women. Yes, I see why they say that. In a way, it's not as bad as they think. A lot of the things they're saying are kind of right. A lot of times, if you ask a woman, she'll want realistically more than they can have. But I think they just kind of neglect the point that it goes both ways. Most people, if you just ask, well, what do you want? They're going to say something probably more than they deserve. For example, if you ask me what kind of salary I want, what salary do you want to make when you're 40? Yeah, I'm going to say $1 million or something ridiculous. But field of accounting, is that realistic to say I'm going to be making that? Probably not. But that's what I want. I see these podcasts, I see these clips, I see them just kind of talking about how women want this and that, how you should have 50 bodies before getting married to a woman, how you should only be dating women to this, how this and that. And I just think they always neglect that this stuff goes both ways. And the only thing I would say actually bad about these types of podcasts, in my opinion, the only thing that actually will probably mess people up is whenever they're saying you need to date a virgin, right? Marry a woman that's never been with anyone, but you should sleep with a lot of women first, basically sleep around. And I think that advice is bad because someone way too susceptible to everything is watching this and they start practicing that, they're gonna have a very hard time dating someone like that because someone very religious is going to want to date someone else very religious, not someone that's sleeping around all the time. And it's like, yeah, I get to do this, but my girlfriend can't. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to do that, but if your goal is to settle down in that way, they are kind of promoting harmful advice. Anyways, I'm kind of done talking about this. I actually do think these podcasts are overhated on, which is why I wanted to talk about it. Basically, the conclusion that I'm making is what they're talking about is a way smaller amount of the population than it is, and they're blowing this stuff up way out of proportion, and it goes both ways. That's all I wanted to say. Anyways, it's 10 o'clock. I gotta go to bed. I will see y'all in the next video.